Welcome back, YouTubers. If you made it this far, congratulations. That's my cat. What the fuck's my cat doing? If you made it this far, it means you probably watched my Hulk video. I must congratulate you. That was painful. I hardly made it through the review myself. But you all made it, so I'm proud. Thank you. I enjoy having you watch. It's creepy. I don't know what you're doing while you watch. But that's okay. Let's get into it. The first review was Hulk. SH Figuarts Hulk. So the second review, now I've got a leprechaun accent. I don't know. I don't get it. Why do I do this when I do videos? Second review, rightly so, should be of his counterpart, SH Figuarts Captain America. Don't mind that giant Terminator thing back there. That's from something else. We'll get into that. Let's see. Let's pan down. Let's pan over. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Dunk, dunk. That's good enough. Okay. My lighting is pretty terrible. I need to get some light, some professional light. This is awful. What the shit? Can we? Why is it so grainy? Oh, why? There we go. Hey, Captain America. Fuck yeah. So again, this is not really a review, more so a comparison and a review of a few figures all at once. But since I already did his little buddy, the SH Figuarts Hulk, I might as well make this kind of an SH Figuarts Captain America review just to give me something to talk about, because I can't sleep. So here we go. This dude right here, which again, it doesn't want to focus on. Hey, there we go, it works. Not a bad figure. As you can see, I have a problem with buying Captain America figures. I try and tell myself that the next one's going to be a little bit better, which for the most part is true. They do get a little better each time. I actually ordered this guy with the Hulk. You can see the little packages back there. I bought them both together, and I've enjoyed them quite a bit so far. All the little things I'll touch on: articulation, paint, sculpt. It's all there. This guy, he's got it all for the most part. Great figure. I think I'll start with sculpt and then kind of compare along the line, articulation, compare along the line, paint, yada yada. And I'll just go down the line for these dudes and kind of give you my take on them as well, so that if you're after a Captain America figure, just maybe, this will give you an idea of which one to purchase or trade or steal, whatever it is you do to get your figures. They're like crack, aren't they? This is awful. In this video, I don't know, it's focusing back here. Let's put him back here. That's where the focus is. Okay. Sculpt. Let's start with sculpt. Figure-wise, the materials they use are all pretty decent. We don't get the real cheap plastics like we get with some of the kind of Walmart exclusive Captain Americas, again, as they're the Hulk counterpart. All the figure counterparts, just cheaper. Color plastic molding, not a lot of paint work, not a lot of sculpt, real bland. But for the price of these figures, you are getting. This guy didn't want to lean. He's going to fall off my table. There we go. For the price you pay for these guys, you do get quite a bit more in terms of little rinky-dink articulations that don't really need to be there, but they are. Accessories, paint, you get just a little more bang for your buck. Anyway, his sculpt, pretty decent. I mean, proportions are all there. There's really nothing too wonky. He looks like Captain America, like a dude. Like a dude should look. He didn't do anything too funky. What I mean by that is this guy, for example, this is I think the first Captain America, first Avenger movie figure, probably from Walmart. I don't know. What I mean by no funky sculpting is, I guess this kind of deals with articulation as well, but when you move this guy, he's got like this weird hunch thing in his back, which is just really strange. When we move him, it's just kind of not natural. He's got some really weird gaps that don't deal with articulation. I mean, there's no need for these weird sculptings. How much gap there is in there, that's an easy fix for how basic that articulation is. But on this guy, everything's pretty well covered up. He's got a lot of nice textures to his suit, from the star in his chest, his little A symbol on top of his head. This is blurry. Wop, 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 wop. The A in his head, the little wings on the side, all the little intricate little details are all sculpted in there. It's just nicely done. The plastic they chose does kind of feel cheap, just because it's real hollow. There's no density to him. He's just hollow and real lightweight. But that's just something I kind of have to get used to for these SH Figuart figures. Just something a little different. As far as sculpting goes, let's see who we can get in here. Probably one of my favorite. Again, just an early Marvel Legends. He's got a lot of great textures. His body proportions all look pretty natural. He's kind of bulky as Captain America should be, which is something I'm going to get into about the SH Figuarts. He's a little on the wimpy side. Oh, my cat just jumped up here. Don't you get up here, cat. He will knock all this shit over. What are you doing? Don't. Hey, get out of here. I mean it, cat. I'll throw him off my balcony. A lot of neat sculpting. Face sculpt is done real well. He's got textured hair, which is real cool. All the others have helmets. Just a lot of neat little details on such an old figure. It's hard to go from, wow, you made an amazing figure 10, 15 years ago, but now you're reverting back to cheap crap. I just don't get it. I've got, we'll do Figma. The Figma guy, his sculpt is pretty decent. A real cool blend of materials. They use, of course, plastics, but they've also got some nice rubber material. It just has a real nice feel to it. It's flexible, so it bends. It doesn't hinder any of his articulation, whereas the SH Figuarts is all hard plastic, and they kind of have to add these weird little armor bits that move on their own that are oh, there's my cat. There's my cat. What are you doing? Okay. It's like Godzilla. He's gonna eat everybody. Why do you have to fuck with these? Get out of here. Don't you have other things to kill? He does have other things to kill. I know he does. I guess that's kind of sculpt. He's got these weird little articulated bits on him that same if you watch the Hulk video or my Hulk review. It's a review. Just some added parts that don't need to be there. His little shoulder guards. I'm trying to think if any of these guys have these. They're just sculpted in. They don't need these little extra bits. I don't know why this one has it, because they don't add much of anything. Sure, they look cool, but they look cool sculpted on. These just, I don't know, they're ugly underneath. I don't know why you'd want that showing underneath your figure, but it does every time, because these things, they move, they get stuck. Like you raise his arm and then lower it, and the thing's, it still, what, dude, get out of here. Get. They get stuck, and they show off kind of the underneath bits that clearly aren't meant to be seen, because they're really ugly and they're not fun to look at all. He's got like this tiny stick arm underneath. It's just, I don't know why they would do that. Again, it looks nice posed, but if you're playing around with it, it's gonna go hoink, and it's gonna just stay up where it was. It's gonna be ugly, and you're gonna resent Captain America being so ugly. What did I just do? I dropped my cat on something. But sculpt-wise, yeah, he's got everything that needs to be there. Very well sculpted. A lot of fun little details from his fingertips all the way down. I'll move this. There we go. From his fingertips, his gloves, his arms, his armor. It's all pretty well done. A lot of nice little details and time put into his sculpt, his face. And if anyone's wondering what Captain America looks like with no soul, there we have soulless Captain America. Pretty creepy. We'll get into that. It's an accessory. Additional head, additional hands, swappable eyes. For sure. It's dumb. Because Figma did it a million times better. They've got eyes that you can move around individually. Well, that makes sense. But instead, SH Figuarts gives us these little swappable eye parts that either look to the left or they look to the right. They never quite look natural, so therefore I never use them. I just use the straightforward one because it's unfortunately the best, and it's not all that great. You can see he's kind of looking up, and I don't know, it's just, if Figma can do it, so can they, and they should have, because it's a much better feature than these swappable eyes. And of course all these guys, all the basic ones, have just regular heads. Catzilla again. And no, I'm not gonna kick him out. I'm in his room. This is his room. I'm just in here trying to make a damn video. Articulation, again, that's kind of one of my biggest must-haves of any figure, is good articulation, to the point where it doesn't ruin the sculpt. I don't care if it looks a little wonky, but I'd rather have articulation over a figure looking perfect. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. If you watch my other video, I kind of went off on a tangent about that, but it's all in there. Go watch the Hulk video. You know you want to. Free tacos for everybody. Articulation-wise, he's got not only just the standard articulation, standard joints, but SH Figuarts throws in a few additional joints, which work better on him than they do the Hulk. The Hulk, they get a little lost because he's just so big and clunky and hard to move anyway that it didn't really do much good. He's got, again, basic ball joints and swivels for the arm, full range of motion, and then he's got these neat little butterfly joints. Whoop, it's like he just busted out of his suit. Ooh. So it'll allow you to move the arm forward and backward, so you can get him kind of able to cross his arms, which is always nice. When he's wanting to put somebody in a chokehold, choke that bitch out. He's got, again, his little shoulder pads have articulation, which is wasted. He's got an upper bicep swivel, which is a must-have. And then that kind of gets in the way of this. They interlock. So when this moves, this kind of floats above or even gets stuck sometimes, and it's just a damn hindrance. I wish those weren't on there, but that's okay. I'm going to shut up about it. Double jointed elbow that has the joint kind of hidden inside the arm, which is pretty nice. He does have little shoulder pads on his elbow. I took the other one out because it kept falling out. That's another thing. Why would that not just be a piece that stays in there? Why must it come out? What good, what purpose does that serve? I don't know. It's not hurting anything by being in there. It doesn't hinder any articulation, but it comes out. If you want to lose it, you can do that. His hands have real nice, thick wrist joints, which I bring that up because some people have real thin, skinny pegs that like to break and have broken. He's got an upper ab joint, again basic movement, crunches forward a little bit, crunches back a little bit, moves side to side pretty well, rotates pretty well. It's so squeaky. I don't know why this guy's so squeaky, but all his joints squeak. But then he also has an additional pelvic joint that allows him to move forward, backward, side, and rotate as well. So he gets double movement. He can like pick something up off the ground without having to bend his legs almost. A lot of good torso movement, which is nice. It's not necessarily super needed, but it's nice to have. I forgot to mention his head has a lot of great movement as well. He's got a neck joint down in the base of his sternum. Sternum, is that the right? You know, I didn't pass that class in high school. I did, with flying colors. At the base of his sternum, shit, I'm going with it, I don't know. He can move around, full range of motion, and on top of that, his head does the same motion. It comes off as well sometimes if you're not careful. So he gets, just like his torso, he gets kind of double movement, so he can get in all sorts of fun little poses for his head, or he can spaz out, rock on. We'll get, see, there you go. You can interchange his eyes. I talked about that earlier, didn't I? Pull that out, swap the eyes for either a left or a right looking pair of eyes. But no thanks, because they don't really line up. They look kind of like crap. Moving on further down, you've got excuse me, shoot, I'm dying. I got the black lung, pops. He's got basic movement in his leg to where he can do the splits. He can, of course, move his leg out. He has the additional articulation that you can move the entire joint in there. You can socket it up or bring it down out of the socket for further range of motion. Man, that sounds like it's gonna snap. That is so strange. It's not supposed to click like that, I don't think. Knee, double jointed knee, ankles, full range of motion, left, right, up, down, pivot, toe articulation, always nice little addition. Not needed, but certainly nice to have. So all in all, just a good solid figure. He's got kind of everything you want them to have. He's got some pretty decent accessories. He's got, of course, multiple hands. His shield holding hand that holds on to his shield is probably the best part of him because it actually works. It's not strapped on with crap that wiggles around and He's got the little handle that he can hold. This is removable, I think. Or wait, no. That's why I like it so much. It's not. It's sculpted into the hand, so he's got a shield handle holding hand. In other words, that handle doesn't come out. It's sculpted in there, so it stays in there. It doesn't wiggle around, such as what's already on there now. So I can take that hand off. I can remove it, replace it. If you want to either have just no hand in there, you can have empty, just the empty handle. There's also a forearm bar that I've got down here that goes around his forearm that just keeps it on his arm nice and snug. He also has some pretty neat little accessories for his shield, such as this little doohickey that plugs into the shield like such. My cat's back. He's gonna, woo-hoo-hoo, don't you knock that over. Hey. Nope, I don't think so. He tried to snatch a hand on his way down. I don't think so. This little guy, he can pull off his hand, attach it to his wrist, put his hand back on, and he holds. Oh, he actually does it with this hand. I apologize. There's a little plug on the plastic part and a little plug on his hand that they just kind of go in together, a little L-shaped plug. And so he plugged that into his wrist, and he holds his shield. You can get him all kind of throwing positions, or just sitting there holding it up in the air or down on the ground, or whatever you want. Pretty cool because it doesn't come off. I mean, it's on there for good until you unplug his hand or unplug that little plastic part. And it's pretty sturdy, so it doesn't move. He's got, of course, the array of hands, from grippy hands to grappling hands to shield throwing hands like you saw, and punching fists like what he's got on. Knock some Hydra mother effer's teeth out. Whoa, you back to steal some hands, are you? Get out of here, thief. He's also got this giant overgrown green hand. I think he was poisoned. And he just kind of... I'm kidding. What? This is like those baseball mitts you put on your hand, the big foam fingers. This is a foam Hulk hand. He puts it on and just... Yeah. Okay, so that's the Hulk's hand. That's not his. So great articulation, great accessories, pretty great sculpt. Again, it's hard to blame them for this, but he's got kind of additional bits that just, in theory, I think they work a lot better than in actual application, because he's got some silly little things that just don't need to be there. And he's good scale. Again, he's not the meatiest Captain America. Captain America should be pretty thick, able to take a few hits. I mean punches, not... He doesn't get high. I don't think he can get high. His metabolism's too fast. He can't... Poor guy. Doesn't get to have any fun. Can't get drunk, can't get high. Maybe he can't, I don't know. But scale-wise, he's pretty decent. He's about the same size as the Winter Soldier Captain America, Marvel Legends. I think that's Marvel Legends. I can't remember. I think they're all Marvel Legends for the most part. Jeez. Again, the older Marvel Legends is just so well done. It's great paint, great sculpt, great size. He's got a good thickness to him. He's muscular, as they should be, whereas these two guys are kind of on the wimpy side. They've got real thin arms. Like, I mean, shoot, I think I've got bigger arms than that. That's just sad. Not only should Captain America have bigger muscles, but Chris Evans? Yeah, Chris Evans? Chris Evans had pretty big muscles in the movie, so it's just only fair that his action figure counterpart is also pretty beefy. Who haven't I shown? Figma's pretty cool. I did him. All these Marvel Legends are kind of yay, nay. Some of them are good, some of them suck. Here he is. Let's pan over. Here he is in his Batman costume. Every once in a while, Captain America likes to go out dressed as Batman. No one would know that's Captain America because why the hell would he dress as Batman? That's perfect disguise. I'm trying to think what I think I've kind of gone over all the details of him. I mean, he's a pretty decent figure. Again, is worth the money, maybe. I think he was. Maybe it's just because I bought him, so I have to justify buying him. But compared to the Marvel Legends, the newer Marvel Legends stuff that's a little cheaper and more cheaply made, I think this guy's certainly worth it. But if you just want a good Captain America that's fun to play with and looks well posed, the Winter Soldier cap is pretty decent. The Figma one, as great as he is, he's got great articulation, he's great paint, just great almost everything. He's real tiny. No one wants a tiny. I know it's kind of the Figma thing, they're just smaller anyway, which if you buy all Figma, go for it. Great little figure, real fun. Not spot on, he's kind of ghostly pale. Skin color's just a little off. The autofocus on this thing is awful. But if you buy all Figma, that's certainly worth it. He's a good figure, also kind of pricey. I think if you're looking for kind of the ultimate Captain America to have, the classic, certainly go with those first. I didn't show this guy. Kind of the get out of here, you two. The older Marvel Legends classic costume, his kind of World War II costume, just great, sturdy, well-made figures. Everything's perfect about these guys. The sculpt, the texture, the detail, pretty much the paint, for as good as it could have been back then. Just great freaking figures. Maybe a little hard to find, but probably not too expensive. I think there's a few of them floating around out there. And if you really want to have fun, go buy the Batman Captain America. He just pretty much said F it, threw down his shield, put on a cape, and moved to Gotham. Said, screw you, Marvel. I'm going to DC. No, okay, that's actually just Batman. That's a pretty cool figure too. We'll get into that later. Anyway, that's my review. Apparently my reviews take 28 minutes because both the Hulk one did and this one did. I guess if you have any questions, leave comments. Nice, fluffy, fuzzy, fun to read comments. No one wants to read mean, nasty things about other people. Not about my review, but I know how the internet is. It's just, oh man. It's such a great place to be. Let me know what you think. That concludes my review of, not really a review, my oversight of Captain America and his Captain Americans. So, have a great night.